Hey guys, it's Beth. Today I'll be using this little candy jar from Dollar Tree. I took the lid off and then used chalk paint and a round sponge brush to paint the outside edge and the little rim on the top. I didn't paint the circle part on the front or the back. I think it's actually technically the sides of it. It's just that flat part on either side I left plain. I dried it with my heating tool and did 2 coats. Same with the lid and also this plastic little bowl from Dollar Tree. It comes in a multi-pack, and the candy jar and this little cup were from like the party section in Dollar Tree. And then I took this stencil from Amazon and this spray adhesive from Hobby Lobby. It's for repositioning stencils. Sprayed it lightly on the back, placed it down on that part I did not paint on the candy jar, then used a round sponge brush and very minimal black chalk paint on it and stenciled on just the little image I wanted, and then made sure that was completely dry, and then used another stencil on the other side, doing the same process. And then once that was dry, I took Mod Podge and a sponge brush and covered the entire outside of the candy jar with Mod Podge, as well as the lid and the little cup. This will give that clear area with my stencil kind of a foggy look, and it will keep the paint from peeling. Once those were done, I took this quick hold glue I got from Joann's. It's like an E6000, but it dries a little quicker. And hot glue on the bottom of the cup, and then place the candy jar on top of that glue. Next, I took this sparkly orange tulle from Dollar Tree, added some tulle, some of these lights also from Dollar Tree, and these little sparkly pumpkins also from Dollar Tree, and just kind of put some in, stacked and layered it. And then I took this Velcro adhesive found in the tool aisle at Dollar Tree, put that on the inside of the lid, and attached the battery pack. And then placed the lid back on. So you can leave it like that. It's super cute just like that. But I wanted a little bow on the top. So I took this Halloween themed ribbon. I cut a strip of it, maybe about 10 inches. I did not measure. And I glued the ends together. So you're just making a loop. And I made 3 of those, about the same size. After I had my 3 loops made, I pinched each of them in the center, making sure that part I glued is in the center so you won't see it, and crisscrossing them in my hand, keeping them nice and tight in the center, and wrapping twine around that, tying it nice and tight, and leaving that twine long. And then I took another piece of the same ribbon. This will be the tail for it. Just cut a strip of that, folded it in half, pinched it in the center and twisted, and then tied that to the bow with that twine I left long, still leaving it long. I then took the lid off and just tied that twine around the little top of the lid and cut off the excess. And then placed the lid back on and trimmed up the little tails. And that's it for this project. I think it turned out so pretty. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hey guys, it's Beth. Today I'll be using this Dollar Tree candy jar and this little hat I got at a local thrift shop. I took the candy jar from Dollar Tree and painted it with Hazelnut chalk paint by Waverly. And I like to use this sponge brush to paint on plastic. It just spreads out better and covers better than a paintbrush. So I covered the entire jar and lid with 2 coats. Once the jar was completely dry, I took acrylic paint pens and drew on the face. So for the eyes, I used a black acrylic paint pen and drew some teardrop shapes and then filled them in with the paint pen. And then I also used the black paint pen to draw on the mouth. So it's just like a squiggly line and then lines on the ends and then just a bunch of lines throughout the mouth to make it look like stitching. Dried those and then used an orange acrylic paint pen and drew like a rounded triangle for the nose. And then again, filling it in with the same paint pen. Once the nose was completely dry, I took the black paint pen again and drew lines around the nose to make that look like stitching as well. Took a white acrylic paint pen and pushed it down on the tops of the eyes just to give those white dots, and then drew white lines at the bottom of the eyes and then made sure that was completely dry. Next I took some Raffia, which this color I got from Amazon, and just kind of put a bunch of it together and then used a couple strips of Raffia to make a couple little knots on there and then cut that in the center between those little knots I made. Pulled apart the Raffia to make it look a little bit more messy. And then I took the lid to the candy jar and hot glued around the rim and then glued it inside my little straw hat, which I did get at a thrift store, but I looked and they do have them on Amazon. It's like a straw hat for dolls. And then I took my Raffia and hot glued some of that to the hat right underneath where it attaches to the lid, making sure that it's going to be where I want it on the face. And then I just added a few more strips of raffia in between those little bunches so it'll look like it'll be coming towards the face as well. Once I had all the raffia glued on, I placed down the hat and trimmed up the raffia on the face. And that is it. I would just suggest to make sure that you fill the candy jar with something if it's just decorative, because the hat does make it a little top heavy and it will tip over. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching.